CJ always does such a good job in run defense, and in particular in watching, reading keys. He's going to see two tight ends at the beginning here, pre-snap, and Bell in the backfield. As soon as the ball snapped, however, he'll notice this pulling tight end, and you can see the shadow of this wide out coming around. So he sees that. The other thing he'll notice too is all of these, another key that he's looking for or watching is the way these guards block. And you can see all these down blocks to one side. He notices that, and he puts two and two together. He's still kind of keeping or staying honest here because he's not sure. And once he sees Bell get by Roethlisberger without the ball, and he sees Pouncey's coming out to get him, he does a nice job avoiding Pouncey here. Follows the play. Also, you see Suggs doing a great job in run defense. Suggs sees that too. Watch Suggs. Watch this guy try to pull him inside. Suggs isn't having that. Ravens do a great job in pursuit here, and CJ ends up getting the tackle on this wide out. So again, he just does a great job of reading those keys, and you see an example of him sideline to sideline here, certainly. And just a smart football player. We'll see that again and again. I keep saying it because I keep seeing it. Just him talking to his guys, getting them lined up, and then playing fast downhill after the football. They listen to him. CJ's the guy out there. They trust him because he knows what he's talking about. Watch him here. Sees this big old hole, and he's going to have to get Bell if that's where Bell goes. Downhill. See that? Ball's in his belly. There goes CJ. The other thing is, when I say he's a downhill football player, watch how he beats this tight end. This tight end's coming to get him, but it's too late. CJ gets in on this tackle. Actually makes a tackle there. So he's reading his keys, and he's getting to a spot before the blocker could get on him. Most importantly, you never, I don't want to say never, but almost never see him give up his gap. This play versus Minnesota illustrates what I was just saying, how CJ's the guy that gets the others lined up. You see him talking to Weddle here. You see Bowser pointing something out, and then ultimately CJ starts making some signals and talking to these guys. See him signaling Weddle there. He's telling Weddle about contain. You're going to see Bowser kind of press the line down here, squeeze the line, and Weddle's going to take contain, and that's what CJ's telling him. That's my guess there. The other thing that's impressive about this, you see that again. You see that all the time. But nearly every play, CJ's putting guys in order. CJ reads this block, sees this gap here. He's always good at filling, always. Really smart. Right now, he's got this gap filled right where he needs to be. The other thing is you see Minnesota kind of doing this stretch thing. CJ from the snap is taking B gap here. As it moves, he moves. Watch him get off this block. He doesn't just fill. Sheds this guy and makes a play in the hole. That's Pro Bowl stuff. You could watch CJ all day in terms of how he plays the run and never run out of examples of how good he is. You see the same thing, him lining guys up, pointing, lining guys up, very calmly too, right? He's the captain out there. There's other guys that'll talk to you and tell you where to line up, Weddle being one of them, and Suggs another. But CJ's really the guy making the calls. This is a good example of downhill football here. Watch him fire right towards the ball. Sees this guard pulling, the right guard pull, and the fullback coming that way. He makes a good read here. Watch him get skinny right there. Take an angle on this back. Shoot this gap, make the play in the backfield. CJ's one of the guys, if not the guy, who gets Ravens lined up before the ball is snapped. You see him here talking to Anthony Levine, real clearly demonstrating where he wants Levine. pretty interesting too. You know, you see the Steelers kind of strong here and Bell to this side, but perhaps CJ seen something on tape. And he ends up being right. Watch how he sees Pouncey in this down block here, and he's going to fill right away, cut off this lane, and so Bell can't go to that gap. And then he does a good job. Looks like Pouncey's got him here, right? Pouncey's a pretty good player. It's a nice job getting off of that block and filling this gap here, and then keeping Bell from being able to cut back. And again, really good in pursuit here. Getting in on the tackle. Real forceful hit too. One thing I don't particularly like, and you see it on occasion, so far as CJ in run defense, what you see once in a while, and you're going to see it here, is he will take on a guard in the hole with his shoulder. Makes him, I think, susceptible to opening that gap or that lane to the back, which is what happens here. Of course, he gets pushed out. Does a nice job getting off and making the play. But also, I worry about his shoulder. I've seen him do it 3 times, and that's without really looking. Twice against Minnesota, once against Houston, that I can think of. Yeah, I'm not sure why he does that. Unless he's maybe protecting his shoulder. He just turns there, and that's not good technique.